Welcome, everyone, to this very special episode of Women Choosing Growth. I am your host, Tina Sue, and today we are celebrating two major milestones. It is our 1 year anniversary of Women Choosing Growth, and we are celebrating our 50th episode. This episode is actually our 50th episode. I'm so honored and humbled to have shared this journey with so many incredible women who have graciously joined me on my mission over this past year. So, like many of you, I had my head down and was just growing the brand until a very dear friend of mine and fellow entrepreneur texted me to give me the kudos of almost being at the 50th episode. Thank you, Rebecca, for always helping me to stop and celebrate success. Everyone needs a Rebecca in their life. And I honestly that was not one of the metrics that I had for the business. So I, like many of you, was just kind of focusing on the growth. But then I got in my head after she had mentioned that this was, we were coming up on our 50th episode. And I thought, well, my inner critic decided to ponder, is 50 really that big of a deal? I mean, it's a nice whole number and all, but I was like, how important is that? And then my competitive side of my brain was like, well, what is a good number? Because, like I said, it was not one of the metrics that I was following in my growth plan of women choosing growth. So I did some research and found actual concrete information of a study that was done in February of 2024, so just a few months ago. And this study showed that there was more than 150 million podcast episodes. That's a lot, but I'm not surprised because there's a podcast show on just about every topic, right? But of those, 44% of podcast shows had less than 3 episodes. So of that 150 million, 44% got to 3 episodes and quit. So that goes to show you that it's not easy to run a podcast, but really, to me, it proved that it's something that has to be in your heart, and because it is not easy, it takes a lot, and you really have to do this to be part of a mission, which it is for me. Another stat was that of those podcasts that made it past the 3 episodes, the average podcast show has 50 episodes. So we are right there. We are at the average mark. We are at 50. But the good news is we have zero intention on stopping anytime soon. Matter of fact, Women Choosing Growth is just launched its first self-paced course, and we have a lot more exciting things in the future. We'll talk more about that later, but we are just getting started, ladies. So when I started this platform and this podcast, my goal was really to create something where entrepreneur women could share their stories, their insights, their expertise, and give you, our audience, actionable advice to implement in your business, regardless of where you're at on your growth journey. I wanted to also build a community where we could learn from each other, support each other, and grow together. I'm so proud of that. Thanks to all of you. We've done just that, and it's only getting better. Over the past 50 episodes, we've covered such a wide range of business topics, each one brought to life by our amazing guests, and some of those were brought to life by yours truly, me. We explored everything from startup strategies, funding, investments, marketing, branding, the importance of mental health and work life balance. Basically, each episode was a treasure trove of knowledge that you can take away, implement in your business. I want to highlight some of these topics and episodes. And as I take this trip down memory lane with you, I mention the topics that we've covered. I want you to think about your business. I want you to think about your goals, your vision, your plans, your personal life, your personal goals. Think about your family. Think about which of these topics, and as I kind of put them into categories of what we've covered in the last year, in the last 50 episodes, and which ones resonate with you, both on a oh, that is one of my expertise, or that is something that I really need to put some more focus in. And maybe jot those down and go back and find the episode that I'm mentioning and have a listen. They're there forever. So you can definitely go back and listen. Make sure that you follow us on whether it's Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen, or on our website, womenchoosinggrowth.com. However, you want to follow us and listen, because that way you'll also be notified of when the new topics come out, specifically, even in those topics that you're looking for growth in the next several years. So let's dive in. I'm going to start out with the trip down memory lane in one of the most important topics, and that really is our self development, our mindset, our mental health, our work life balance, because without these ladies, no business is really worth it. So we start out with Tatiana Amico. She opens up about the challenges of balancing and growing business with personal well-being, offering practical tips and tricks that can be applied to your daily life. Tiffany Martin shares a journey of overcoming burnout, and we're talking about true physically what is the word? Whatever. She's physically disabled from her burnout, and debilitating. That was the word I was looking for. Physically debilitating from her burnout. And she shares her story about the signs that she ignored in hopes that she can help other people avoid having burnout. Like many of us, she had her head down and just thought, oh, it's temporary, or this, I'm just going to put my head down and grow. And it's a very empowering story about burnout and how she found her way back to being able to build trust with her team and get her business back on track. We also learned from Leslie Thornton on how the power of hypnosis and emotional mastery plays a significant role in our business growth and or can block us from our own growth. How our mind and emotional mastery can be a friend or a foe. Allison LaCourciere also opened up about 4 pathways to finding your ultimate worthiness. And we had Miley Young of Ginger Roots, an owner of an Asian restaurant, share her own mindset setbacks and then how she gained control of her thoughts and continues to have incredible growth in a very chaotic restaurant industry. So, when we think about dreamcasting your future, we kicked it off with Janine Adams sharing her biggest advice on how to build a business by being uncomfortable. We know that entrepreneurship is definitely uncomfortable at times. And Janine and her team at Ready Pretty also get a special shout out from us here at Women Choosing Growth because they helped us with our new brand identity that kicked off somewhere early in 2024. Did an amazing job loving our new brand identity. Kelsey Ada had an empowering episode about manifesting your dreams, followed by Jen Cochran sharing insights on having clear vision so you know where to invest your time and money. So important to be focused on the right things. Dr. Helen Pelletier has one of the most valuable topics about building resilience in our business and probably even more importantly, in our personal lives. She also has a book on building resilience. And I do love big, gorgeous goals and share that love with Julie Ellis as she brought very tangible advice on goal making and, more importantly, how to achieve those goals. When we dive into time management and prioritization, we had Melissa Swink on as an expert sharing how important it is to hire to your weaknesses, but specifically on delegating tasks. Outsourcing it to companies like hers, which is a virtual assistant company, or just being really super clear on what it is that you're doing as an owner versus what you can be having someone else do so that you can continue to grow the business. So, really diving into time and priority management. When we talk about recruiting, we had none other than Wendy Sellers, the HR lady, the go to person when it comes to HR, all things HR. And we really talked about how to really get set up for recruiting and not just plop an ad out there because you have a need to fill. It really starts with a strategy plan. And she goes into very much in depth in that episode. Once we have those people hired, right, we need to make sure that we have the leadership dialed in. John Cutton of Cutton Wealth Management of Ameriprise really talks about the keys to scaling to billions in his case. And it's all about leadership. No matter what industry you are in, his advice is that if you focus on the leadership, and he talks about the 5 levels of leadership, in his own levels. You'd have to listen to find out what they are. I have repeated them to clients several times since this episode. And it's really about having the right people and how to really build a factory of level 5 leaders so that no matter what industry you're in, your business is going to continue to grow because you have the right people on the bus. We also talk with Jennifer McCollum, who shares the most common hurdles in women in leadership. So, as an entrepreneur, you're a leader. If you're a leader in listening to our show, it is all about the common hurdles and how to avoid them. And then the most recent episode, episode 49, yours truly talks about so many parallels between parenting and leading a team. Not all, but many of us women entrepreneurs are also mothers. If you're not a mother, you're probably a favorite aunt or some other role model in that sort of parenting way. And the last episode of 49 is really about how similar it is in the mindset and the tactics of raising children and raising a leadership team. Once we have the right people on the bus and we are dialed in our leadership, it's really about culture. And in episode 5, yours truly talks about how to recognize when someone is peeing in your pool. And that's all about the culture in your business and how bad it can take your business backwards by having the wrong people in there, and how to recognize what that toxic environment looks like and what to do about it. Then we have Gena Cox in her episode, another empowering topic, and that's all about how to reshape the workplace through respect. What would a business be without sales? We have a whole 4-episode series on growth, followed up by an episode from Heather Cox on how to unlock sales and revenue opportunities through certifying your business. And then Elsie Archer shares 4 quadrants of sales growth, another expert in sales, and a great episode. When we talk about networking, so that's really networking with people in our business that can help improve our sales, is Sarah Gemmel as the master of networking. She shares the secrets in episode 44, along with an episode with Mara Smith of Inspiro Tequila, where Mara shares how her inspiring, see what I did there? Inspiring and Inspiro Tequila, her inspiring story of how she started a business in an industry she had no experience in, and really relates her success to building a network of the right people in order for her to grow to the amazing tequila company that she is today. Once we have that, we dive into customer focus and experience, just really focusing on those customers. Valerie Boyd shares her story of having no prior experience in her industry, but then experienced crazy growth in Colorado Safety and Supply, which is her business, by paying attention to her customers' needs. Marnie Konski of Thigh Society also talks about why she stuck to one product, and is now heading towards 50 million in revenue, all by focusing on her customer, what they needed. When we talk about networking and branding, very hot topic this year, lots to unpack there. We learned so much from Renee Warren on decoding the secrets about public relations, how to fix a flopped marketing plan from Victoria Hajar. Chanel Cornelius gave us a different perspective on how to market without USPs. Carlin Ankrum shared 5 easy steps to mastering lead generation. Sarah Noel Block dove into the importance of knowing your ideal customer from a marketing perspective. Then we talk about, from another angle of marketing, is really the storytelling and branding. And we had brand expert Eden Spodek of Spodek & Co. share 6 easy steps to telling your brand story. We also had Miss Chris Pater, KP, on 2 different episodes to give us a different perspective on storytelling telling your brand story through the Hollywood approach, and also embracing your flossomeness to actually reach your wildest goals. That was a fun episode as we both brought some goals to the episode that neither one of us knew about, some BHAGs we personally had, and we worked through how to overcome those the roadblocks that were keeping us from that through our flossomeness. We can't have business growth without some financial mastery and topics around the money side of things. So we have several episodes that dive into what you should be focusing on to be building your enterprise value. Ladies, that's what it's all about. We are here to build a business that someday you can sell, because someday it could happen without you even choosing it. We go through that in one of the episodes about the death, divorce, discernment, like things can happen. So you want to make sure that you have your business set up to be worthy of someone else taking over and paying you for it. So we talk about enterprise value, including some non-financial capital things to focus on, like the human capital, the technology, systems, those type of things. We also have a two-part series on the mentality of profit first and setting up your business to always have profit from day one. If you follow profit first mentality, you will have profit from your very first sale. Sounds crazy until you know what profit first really stands for. So great episodes there. And speaking of financials, we can't talk about business without talking about taxes. We had the amazing Kelly Runge of Whitflea share insights on how to navigate those taxes. What is legal? What's sketchy? Spoiler alert, you want to stay on the legal side of the IRS. But she does go through and share some of those strategies to what to look at to make sure that you have your financials dialed in from a tax standpoint. We also talk about acquisition. We explored both sides of acquisition and investments. Lee Podolsky, Breakwater Bookkeeping, shared why being acquired is not the end, and it's actually a great growth strategy with multiple exits. Courtney of Coastal Capital also shares how capital investing in different like equipment and different needs within your business, even if it is to acquire another brand or another branch within your industry, is sometimes necessary to get to the next level of growth. A lot of times people think spending money is a burden, but we have to look at that and be very strategic. And she shares a lot of insights on how you can grow strategically through investments. There's a sneak peek into episode 51, and it's all about investing in growth and how Trixie shares her story about how she's invested in over 50 companies and is still growing strong. So very much a serial entrepreneur there. And last but equally important, were Hope Timberlake and Darcy Webb on using your voice to be heard. And I don't mean just heard as in having a nice microphone, but really being heard. So not only on stage and physically being heard, but also being heard, especially in some of these industries where it may be male dominated, or you may just be in an environment that women are not listened to. So two very important episodes about being heard. So, quite a few of our guests have published book, too many for me to list on this little rundown memory lane. However, they are in the show notes of the individual episodes. But if you're looking to put your expertise down on paper, the episode with Amanda Edgar is a must. Her approach, honestly, even for me, made publishing a book look easy, and she promises it is. So I highly recommend connecting with her if a book is something in your future. So it's been an incredible year of conversations. If I missed anyone, I truly apologize. It was non intentional. We had such an amazing 50 episodes in 12 months, and each of our guests has brought something unique and valuable, and most importantly, actionable to the table. And I am so grateful for your contributions. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to every single guest who has been on the show. Your willingness to share your stories, sometimes not easy. You share the parts where you made mistakes and the parts where you won. And I really, truly appreciate you sharing that, because that's what makes this podcast what it is today. And to you, our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for engaging, being part of this community. If you missed any of these episodes, I highly recommend you go back and giving them a listen. Star them, favorite them. If it's something you need to hear frequently, like maybe how not to get burned out, make sure you put that on your list to listen to more than once. They're all packed with gems of wisdom and inspiration. So, as we look into the future, I'm excited to continue to bring more inspiring stories and valuable insights. We'd love your help with connecting with other amazing women, really, to feature on this show. So, if you know someone with a story to share, someone who is established and is growing, but has something that they can share with other women who are in the same growth mode, please reach out to us through the link on our website, in the show notes, or you can simply email me at tina@womenchoosinggrowth.com. So remember, ladies, we are all in this together and we are stronger together. So also, you can share Women Choosing Growth with your closest women entrepreneur friends. Here's to another year of growth, learning, and inspiration. And thanks for being part of this journey.